Welcome back to Moving with Meaning. I'm your host, Krystal B. Clark. And yes, it is the new year, 2025. So I have a great lineup for you. I want to definitely say welcome back to all my tried and true Moving with Meaning Network followers. Glad to have you. And for all the newcomers, hey, let's go ahead and step into this adventure and unlock your potential. So, as we move into the new year and the month of January, if some of you don't remember or perhaps you're just new, I'll just go ahead and send you a quick reminder of what we do here. I typically theme the month that I'm in around a particular topic, characteristic, or goal that I would like to have us work on and focus on in that particular month. So for me, is going to be more about renewal. So reflection was in December, and for me, I usually come out of the holidays I'm seriously like renewed, jacked up, recharged, and ready to take on the world. And I needed it. I needed that break because I'm on 10 all the way through for nearly 11 months out of the year. It's a long time. I needed a break. So for me, my renewal period is in January. Okay. For my daughter, it's June when school lets out and all of summer. So I might have to put her on a budget because a lot of what she does is retail therapy, but I'll stick with her as that's her process. But we'll figure that out later on down the road. So again, this can happen at any point in time. I'm not suggesting January. This is just the time that I do it. Again, like I said, other people have different ways of implementing this or different times and stages throughout the year that they do that. I think maybe even educators may take that time throughout the summer months to really just relax, recharge, and reboot. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. And of course, who better to start with on this renewal journey and series than you? And that's exactly the title of this episode, Renew You. Okay? And so what we want to talk about when we talk about that renewal and renewing yourself, what's really important, a key pillar to that is personal development and self-care. So renewal often begins with recognizing the need for personal development and self-care. By dedicating time to understanding our mental and emotional needs, we create a foundation for letting go of careers, lifestyles, people, or habits that no longer align with who we are becoming. So, prioritizing activities that improve growth, resilience, and self-worth allows us to build our lives on a healthier, more fulfilling path. So important, and I think that was such a mouthful. We got to break it down. We have to break it down. Okay? And so I hope that sounded very enlightening. I think it sounded very attractive, and it's like, woo, how am I going to get there? What am I going to do? Well, we're going to start with the good stuff first. All right? So, benefits to focusing on personal development and self-care. Number one, this is clarity and direction. So, engaging in self-reflection and well-being practices can help you identify what truly matters, guiding you towards goals that resonate with your values and strengths. So, a lot of times people just think and they just look for a change. They're like, I know this isn't where I want to be, so I'm just going to switch up and change. I told you I went through that before as well when I was trying to figure out, I wasn't happy in my career and I didn't know where I really was, what I really wanted to do. So I almost did this. I almost left my job and just went to go work at like Starbucks or Target or something like that. I was like, I just need to get out of here. Well, no, I just was like, I need to get out of here. I need to get away from here. Like, this is so unfulfilling. I am not doing what I feel like I should be doing. And so if I had just jumped ship, I'd have been on a completely different path to Nowheresville and still be stuck where I was. So I think it's very important that before you do any of these moves, unless of course it is impeding your health, right? Do what you need to do, FMLA, and take advantage to what those benefits are and take that time away, okay? But to really gather out who you are versus who you want to be, okay? And then align that with the values of who that person is, as well as the strengths that that person has. And basically put together a roadmap to achieve those things or to better align your life so that it meets all those characteristics of that person you want to be. All right? Number two, enhance resilience. So, regularly taking care of your mental and emotional health supports you during life's challenges, and there will be challenges. Don't go thinking you're going to go through life and you're going to set the stage up to be great and avoid all challenges that are going to come your way. They're coming. If you hadn't had any now, it's just ahead of you. So just wait. Sorry, it's a bearer of bad news, but I'm just getting you ready. Okay. But you are better equipped to bounce back from setbacks and handle stress constructively. This is important because my whole brand is on emotional resilience. Now, here's the funny thing. My brand was emotional resilience without even really knowing what resilience was. I really thought it was strength, being strong, and armor, and all these other things. And it's not. It's actually being very fluid, being very flexible, being able to adapt and adopt depending on the conditions that you're in, right? Or the environment that you're in. And so that way you are able to handle setbacks more effectively. You're not really you don't really go downhill as hard and as fast as you normally would, because you've been there before, or you have a level of confidence about yourself that says, hey, we're gonna get through this, right? And another one is to handle stress constructively, right? A lot of times when people offend us, it's easy to throw a jab back. Like, I don't know about you, but I think I got a ton of comebacks in me. And I said a lot of them in my head to somebody. Like, when they've said something to me and I'm looking at them and I'm smiling, I'm like, who is she talking? Who is he talking? Whatever it is, I hope they're not talking to me. But you kind of got to hold that back in. So I definitely allow myself inwardly to lash out and do whatever else. But I know that I have enough control over my emotions and myself to be more constructive when I'm dealing in stressful conditions and environments. All right, number 3, greater self-confidence. I just mentioned a little bit about it right just now. So as you invest time in developing new skills, nurturing self-compassion, and acknowledging your accomplishments, your self-esteem and confidence will grow. These are the essential ingredients for pursuing meaningful change. Remember, meaningful. It has to mean something to you. It has to be of value to you, not to others, not because someone said this or that or the other. You're the only one that needs to be convinced. You are the only one that it needs to matter to. Okay? So be prepared for that. Number 4, sustain motivation. Okay, well, yeah, we talk about change. Well, what happens when we get there and we achieve that level? You don't just stay there without effort. No, okay? So when you feel good physically and mentally, meaning you are physically and mentally fit, you're more energized and focused on the tasks that move you closer to your personal and professional objectives. All right, those are great benefits, okay? I think this is a great start to that. I hope you can relate to a couple of those, if not a lot. I certainly did, and I've experienced them in various different stages of my life, either through childhood, adolescence, young adulthood, parenting, and where I'm at today. So at the end of the day, this never stops. This is something that comes up routinely because we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing, because the people and the environments that we're around are also changing as well. And so that's why we always have to look at this from a renewal perspective and look at what we value and the person we are, and are we surrounding ourselves with that. All right, so those were the benefits. Here go the drawbacks. All right, so when we try to hold on to these poor practices, some of the times we do this is because we've reached it and we're kind of like, okay, whatever I did to reach this, I don't want to lose it. But if I change, I don't know if that's going to happen, right? These are those kinds of drawbacks that we're going to go through a little bit here. So number 1 is stagnation and frustration. We talked about this in the last series where we were talking about reflections, and stagnation is really one of those pieces. So when you're kind of feeling yourself just really plateauing and everything is just constantly on repeat, everything is predictable, right? That starts to feel frustrating. It starts to take a toll on you mentally, for sure, right? So this is clinging to unfulfilling routines or habits that can keep you stuck in a cycle of dissatisfaction, preventing you from experiencing genuine growth or new opportunities. One thing I really want to make clear here: new opportunities, right? Yes, there are going to be a lot of environments or choices that you're going to be in, and they will become stagnant. That like they'll just become very repetitive, very routine. Okay. Even in the environment that I was talking about before, where I was a consulting, and that is very fast paced and it changes frequently. Even that environment came so routine for me. Even that did. So I really had to really look and say, hey, what do I really want to do? With all of this skill that I've developed and all this experience and things that I've been exposed with over the years, what is it that I want to do that is going to make life exciting for me? Right? And I think that's really important. So just when you do that, sometimes people are waiting for that opportunity to knock on the door. You got to go for it sometimes. You got to go and seek it out. So don't be afraid to do that. All right. Number 2, drawback, declining well-being. So of course, when we start to hold on to these poor practices, we're avoiding necessary changes, okay? And this can aggravate stress, anxiety, or burnout, which ultimately leads you to harming both your mental and physical health. I know you always heard of the sometimes holding on does more damage than letting go. That is totally true. You're going to see that theme as we continue to move on through this, right? But yeah, in my dream career of IT consulting, that is where my stress and my anxiety and burnout really culminated. I thought I was doing good. You know why? Because I was climbing that corporate ladder like you know what. I was the number one person in the room. People knew my name, everything. And I just did not know that I was declining. I did not know that my mental state was just falling apart. It really was. And it took a minute for me to catch my breath. It really did. So just think about that and try to take note of those things, right? But you want to monitor your stress. You want to monitor your anxiety. And really, again, like I said, it's just about self-assessment and reevaluation, okay? And number 3 on that drawback is eroded self-worth. So continually neglecting personal development can chip away at your confidence, convincing you that you're incapable of change or you don't deserve better. Yeah, I'm gonna pause on that one. So here's the thing. Like I said, continuously neglecting personal development. Personal development is a continual activity. You will achieve and you will constantly achieve. I know people will look at that and they're like, oh my God, I get so tired of constantly needing to get more and needing to get better. But that's where stagnation happens, okay? And a lot of people are settled, right? You could be settled in a career, but you're always getting exposed to new experiences within that. That's very important for a lot of people, and that's fulfilling, that's satisfying. But sometimes when we neglect doing those things and looking for new opportunities, you start to get a lot, like you lose self-confidence, right? And you start to convince yourself like, wow, maybe I don't deserve better. Wow, maybe this is all I'm meant to be and all I'm going to do in life, even though it's not what I want. Maybe that's just the lot I drew. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Okay? And I've worked with a lot of people who thought that way. A lot of people. And I've coached and mentored them. I've discussed with them a lot of things, and I will revisit back with them, and they were just like, it's so easy to get what you want. It really is. I go, I told you. Right? But that's okay, because we all start somewhere, right? The point is that you're talking about it. The point is that saying, no, I do deserve better and I want better. The point is that you're getting and reaching out to all these different resources to get to that level that you want to be, or at least define what that is. That's it. All right. So now in the end of all of this stuff, right, you kind of want to say, well, shoot, this all sounds real good. Like it makes sense. Like these benefits are great, right? The advantages, awesome. And boy, those drawbacks, I don't want there. A lot of them I am in those places. So why is it so hard for people to just embrace change? Why is it so hard for people to do these things, right? It should be easy. Not for everybody. So here are a few reasons why people will avoid or at least find it very difficult to embrace change. All right. So number 1 is, well, honestly, not wanting to admit change is needed. I mean, when you've got somewhere, who wants to be like, yeah, this ain't working? It's like, whoa, what? So acknowledging you've outgrown a job, relationship, or lifestyle, or even friendships can be uncomfortable. So admitting the need for change sometimes feels like admitting failure. It's like, I thought this is what I wanted to do. It's not what I expected. I failed. No, it's you went on a path, right, of achieving something. You may be still on that same path. This was just a stop, right? A detour. That's all it was, right? Because that experience, like I told you, all moves have meaning. And that experience helps you, okay, no, okay, when I look at things and evaluate things, this is another thing that I need to consider. That's all it is. We don't know what we don't know. We go off of the best information that we have available to us at the time. Okay, that's all it is. And so when a lot of people stay in failed relationships or failed jobs or things that are just not working out, it's just, I don't want to admit that I need a change. That's hard. That's real hard. Number 2, feeling obligated to hold on. Oh, goodness. So, past achievements or long standing relationships can create a sense of loyalty, making it very hard to leave, even when it's clear the situation is no longer beneficial. Wow. Okay, so this is really big for me in either familial relationships or friendships. This is very big. This is very difficult for me to admit that, gosh, I moved on. Even, someone who I've been friends with for 20 years. It's very difficult for someone who, hey, we've achieved some really high goals together, buying houses and doing all these things, putting in really good money management practices. And then for some reason and some odd day, we're completely out of sync. We no longer match, right? Or we've both hit a certain level and we're at different stages of maturity. We're at different stages of spiritual growth. We're different stages of challenges that we're dealing with. And so, and sometimes we're kind of interrupting that for me or for that person, and we need to separate. It's the best thing to do. Listen, I had to end a relationship that was seriously like 20 years, and it was hard. It was hard. I was holding on so hard that it was causing me anxiety. And I'm not gonna lie, I miss that person. No one said that when you leave a relationship or you leave a friendship and it, you leave and separate for a little bit, that's not going to be hard. Like, it's supposed to be easy. Like, when that decision, you come to terms with that, that's easy, and you're just going to have this rush of fresh air and relief and stuff. No. And yeah, there are times when I miss that person. There are times where I want to text them and laugh like we used to and do all those things, but I know that that's inviting and that's giving a false sense of security or mixed messaging to that individual. So I have to really keep a tight leash on myself, right, to not let myself go in that perspective. So I want to make sure that everyone knows that that will happen. And yes, you're going to miss people and it will take some time, but stay and trust yourself and keep moving forward. All right, number 3 is the fear of retaliation. So people often worry about negative repercussions. So from losing social connections to facing criticism. So if they decide to move on or set new boundaries. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, that's true. So let's say, for example, this person I worked with or whatever else, they have a connection. Okay, but I don't want to be friends with them anymore. I'm going to say, it's like I'm saying goodbye to that friend, that connection, meaning I'm going to have to now put in more work to make my own connections, right? And do my own type of work that they were helping me with or providing things for me with. Okay, then do it. Simple as that, right? We don't want to be lazy, okay, folks? So that's what I don't mean that in a disparaging way, but you can't hold on to things and to people and work and environments and lifestyles because that means that you're going to have to do what this relationship is providing you at the time. No, you figure out what it is that relationship is giving you and what you will be leaving behind, meaning this is what new skill I'm going to have to learn, or these are some things that I'm gonna have to get on my own. But please don't stay because for free work or free connections. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Absolutely not. Now, setting boundaries, yeah, that's a big one too. And we'll get into that. Okay. I think I even have a whole episode dedicated to that. So I'm not gonna really go too deep into that, but we'll get there. So hopefully a few of my stories have helped, okay? And just kind of passing through these. I changed it up a little bit because I noticed that in each one of these, I've been kind of dropping little hints of places where this has happened for me. And I haven't been doing too well. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't doing too well in my storytelling. So I may get back to that, but I kind of feel that just kind of dropping these gems and kind of giving a good crash course and guidance on these terms, and then kind of just adding, like I said, my little bit of seasoning on it, and letting you know, hey, I'm not above or beyond any of these at all. Okay. So that was a great episode. And what I want to leave off with, I really do, is some strategies that you can use for personal development and self-care, okay, while you are letting go. First one, number one, reflect and reassess. Schedule regular check-ins with yourself. Journal or meditate on your current situation and feelings. Second, use these reflections to identify areas that are draining your energy or no longer align with your values. Like I said, that reflection last month is a good prerequisite into this time for reassessment. I love journaling. I love meditating. I do it quite often. Okay. Try not to do it at nighttime because that's when insomnia kicks in. Don't do that. Release all that before bedtime. All right. But definitely you will know what things drain your energy by the time that you start thinking about them and how you feel when you're thinking of them. Do you feel motivated? Do you feel jazzed up? Or do you automatically feel like your heart starting to race? Right. Those are good ways and good signs. Now, another strategy, number two, set boundaries and prioritize. So clearly define what you need to protect your mental and emotional well-being. It's very important. Boundaries, and this is great because I had a podcast guest on tell me this, but it's not meant to harm. It's not meant to build a wall. It really isn't. It's to protect the relationship that you have with that person or the environment that you're in. It's really to help you thrive, okay, and survive in that. That's all it is. In addition to that one, you want to communicate these boundaries with the people in your life. So important, communication, isn't it? And this gives yourself the permission to say no when it's necessary. I think that's also important, giving yourself permission. Many people, for me, okay, I always felt that if I said no, I was saying no to an opportunity. And it's like, ooh, when is the next one going to come by or whatever? And naturally, was I saying no to an opportunity? Yes. But because I didn't have the capacity, because it conflicted with my values. It interrupted my time with my children and my family members. So saying no to an opportunity and waiting for another time when it'll better fit, yeah, that's the right go. So make sure you prioritize yourself when you're thinking of passing on an opportunity or accepting one. All right. Number three, seek support and accountability. So consider working with a coach, counselor, or mentor who can provide guidance, motivation, and objective feedback. You got your girl right here. Look me up. I'm telling you, I'm there. And if not, just follow me on some of my social media platforms and just hit a pro tip or drop me a line. So you really do, for sure, it's about community. You want to surround yourself with friends and peers who encourage your growth and who respect your decision to make positive changes. Isn't that funny that we have to call something like that out, right? Yeah, there are people who will be jealous of you. Tons, and they do not help you. They really do hold you back, right? And you want someone to propel you. You want someone to fuel what you want to do and your dreams. So just be mindful of who you share that with, okay? And make sure it's not that you're hiding it from anyone else or anything like that, but it's about surrounding yourself with the right individuals to support you in all your dreams, okay? That's really important. So I definitely want to just make sure and let you guys know, right, that by embracing personal development and self-care, you equip yourself with the mental and emotional tools needed to release unhelpful patterns and build a life that genuinely reflects your aspirations. It's never too late to break free from what no longer serves you and step confidently into the future you deserve. Ain't that something? All right. Like I said, you can double down on a dose of me checking out my podcast, Moving with Meaning, the podcast. Hit your girl up on YouTube Music, Amazon, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, right? Free tunage. Like just listen and drop me a line and let me know what you think about those. Go ahead and throw up my graphic here like I normally do. Follow, subscribe, link up, and just follow along with me. I'd love to connect. Okay, so just drop me a line. Like I said, I respond. I am not a stranger. Okay, so I look forward to having many more of these episodes with you and many more themes. Okay, so we're gonna do it like we always do, which is in the meantime, just keep moving